jamming!
Boom shakalaka! Yes!
Yes.
All right. Welcome, welcome. We got people in the audience today.
Yes, we do.
That means we are the best show on the internet.
That's
Seriously.
right. I mean, was there ever any question?
No questions about
right.
that. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Ms. Rocki and Chaveevah North End Live.
Yes, yes.
There's always something good happening on the North End.
And everywhere else, you know it.
And you know this.
That's right.
Yes, we got a great show today. We've got the Reverend Dr. Belinda Creighton-Smith that's going to join us in a whole new role today, Chaveevah.
That's right, absolutely, as the new 4th Ward City Councilwoman.
Yes, and also Jerome Amos is going to be here, and he's got a new position.
Yes, new state representative.
Oh,
new.
I
All
know.
right.
We're going to talk and back and forth and find out what advice they have for each other, if any. And we want to shout out to our frequent viewers.
That's right. We've got Alyssa Sims, Bob Dorr, Shantae Grundy, and Janet Zilk.
Yes, yes. Welcome. And all of you other people like Lon Kammemeyer, Alicia Hollingsworth, John Coffer,
And Shabaka Jelani.
Okay, thank you for saying that one.
Okay.
I was going to mess it up. Happy St. Patty's Day to you Irish folks, or just pretending like you're Irish, whatever
There
you
you
want to
go.
do. Right. We got the green screen for our North End update page. And we're going to do that a little bit more often, Chaveevah. I think have a little less formal feel.
Right.
They can see how I'm always juggling over here in
Right.
real life, and then the virtual world.
There you go.
On Rocki and
See
Chaveevah.
what kind of goings-on is going on
Right.
behind the scenes. Yeah.
All right. And Chaveevah, talk to me about that sip and paint you did on Wednesday.
Oh, that was so much fun.
Sip and
I did a
paint, yeah.
sip and paint at Absalom Lounge. There was a pretty good number of people there, and it looked like they enjoyed it pretty well too. Just the music, you know, nice, soft, grown folks music, you know, and just a good time. And what people told me, which I already know this because I'm an artist, I mean, I know it's that way for me, they said it was very therapeutic. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's always relaxing when you can take the time to invent your whole new world, or even if Chaveevah invented your world ahead of time, you can just fill in the colors, you know, that's always relaxing.
Yeah, it brings out your creativity, and everyone has it. People think that they don't, but you do.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. Okay, in our talking point today, we're going to talk about this with our guests. We're going to talk, and they know this, because don't try to be normal, because everybody, especially when you're a kid, you're always trying to be normal. If you do that, then you'll never know how amazing you can be.
Yes, that is right.
Okay. And everybody, we want you to know that we're approaching 6 years. On April 7th, we will have 6 years of positivity from a North End perspective, which basically just means we tell you what really is good. Okay.
Right, you're going to hear about the bad stuff. We're going to tell you what's really good.
Right. So Chaveevah, tell them about the party we're going to have. Then we get to talk to our guests.
That's right. You make sure you save the date, April 7th.
Yes.
We're going to be at the Waterloo Center for the Arts, and it's a taste of the North End, a taste of the food, a taste of the music.
A taste of the culture.
That's right. Yep, tickets are on sale right now. We have tickets, so if you know us on Facebook and you're connected, you can get them. You can get tickets through Eventbrite, or you can get a hold of us individually for your tickets.
But you didn't tell them who the entertainment was.
Oh, duh! How
Right.
did I not say that?
Felicia.
That's right, Felicia Smith
Knowles
Knowles.
will be singing. I didn't say singing.
She's going to
She's
sing.
going to sing.
That's right.
Okay. And we're expecting that. We know you're going to be there to help us to celebrate, and we want to meet you, especially if you're a frequent viewer. Come on out. We want to meet you.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. All right. And now, before further ado, we got to talk about our guests, and we're going to welcome them right now.
Right now.
TV Magic.
Okay.
Thank you, Ed. Ta-da.
All right, here we are.
Two beautiful people. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, Reverend Belinda Creighton-Smith,
Yes,
a
nice
long-time
to be here.
Waterloo
Oh,
resident,
yes,
lifelong.
Lifelong.
Like
In
me.
fact, I was born in Chicago, Illinois, but
came here when I was 3. My parents brought me here.
Okay.
So
really?
this is all I know.
Okay.
All right.
And you look just like you did in first grade. We just walked
So
across
do
that
you,
bridge.
so do you. And going to Girl Scouts
thank
and
you.
brownies.
Right. And welcome to you, of course, Jerome. Yes. And you've got a lot of life changes going on. I think you recently got married.
Yeah, it's been about a year and a half.
A
something
year
like
and
that.
newlyweds.
After being married 47 years
Sure.
to my high school sweetheart,
Yeah.
that cancer that you've been talking about took her. And,
Yes.
I can remember 2 weeks in the hospital we spent, and I remember her saying, Jerome, I know you're the type of man who's not going to be alone, and all I want is for you to be happy. Well,
Yes.
I'm happy. So.
Oh, good,
That's
good.
wonderful.
And I know
Yes.
Tina, she's a great, great
Yeah,
person
yes, she
too.
is.
Yes. And also your new job. I mean, we got to talk about all that.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I'm
Right.
ready.
Okay, you ready? I know you are, so we're going to get to it. But we
Okay.
got a couple of little protocol that we do on this show. Of course, we want to quickly talk about the Soul Town, Chaveevah, real
That's
quick, because I
right.
know y'all know about the Soul Town,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
Chaveevah, this month is beautiful.
Yes, the Soul Town on the cover
Oh, is that this one?
is
Yes.
Yo-Yo.
Okay.
Okay,
You know
and
Yo-Yo?
anybody who remembers, I mean, it's not my generation of music, right?
Okay.
But Yo-Yo was the thing. She still is, clearly. And
Grammy
50th
nominated.
anniversary of hip hop.
Right.
Yes.
Did you
Yeah.
guys see the 50th anniversary of hip hop special that night? Oh man, that
Yes.
all the way back to Run DMC. It was amazing. Yeah. But anyway, the Soul Town.
That's right.
You got to get yourself a copy.
That's right. Get you some at
TheSoulTownMagazine.com. Okay, now moving on, Chaveevah. What are we talking about?
Well,
Our talking point.
yeah, we mentioned our talking point, and that is, if you're always trying to be normal, you'll never know how amazing you can be. The great Maya Angelou said that. I'm sure other people have said it too, but it's true.
Yeah. What you want to say about that, Belinda? Irvin?
You know, we're taught to be normal. We're taught to fit in. We're taught to conform, and made fun of when we don't. And sometimes it's a life journey to find your space, to find yourself. And so I have learned through my life as I've journeyed through these years that I'm going to just be myself no matter how it looks to anyone. And that is, and for me, that is where I would say I settled in and now feel so accomplished and fulfilled because I've learned who I am.
Amazing. That's who you are. I mean, to do all of, I saw your graduation picture. Even though she looked like a first grader, I know how old she is. And so I know that those things didn't come easy. So the whole community is so proud of you and all you've done.
Thank
but,
you.
Yeah, those are great words to dwell on, Chaveevah. What about you? What do you feel about that?
Well, that I concur. The things that you have said as far as trying to be quote unquote normal. I don't remember how old I was, but I think I was pretty young when it finally dawned on me, I am not going to be like other people. There's always something about me that's sort of quote unquote different, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. So once I got over that, then it makes life a whole lot easier.
Yeah, it does. Caleb, do we have any comments over there?
Amy Cass,
Okay, hey Amy.
the guests and the events.
All right.
Okay, great. Thank you, Amy. All right, and Jerome, what do you want to say about being normal?
Well, I'm one of those individuals who's never been accused of being normal.
Okay.
So for me, you know, I guess when you talk about normal, for me, that's being yourself. You know, as a young man, I was always taught that being a young black man, I was not going to have the opportunity to be normal anyway. I was always
Because normal was not black.
No, well, you know, and like I say, for me, I was taught that in order to do anything to be accomplished, you couldn't do the normal things. You had to be over and above those things in order to get to the same level as other individuals.
Yeah.
So, and my dad passed away when I was 15, so a lot of my, I guess, mindset comes from my mother. So, and like I say, it's just a matter of, for me, I'm a firm believer in you have to step out of that comfort zone that you get into in order to accomplish things.
Okay, right. So
Indeed.
that's what he said. He wasn't going to step in. He stepped out of normal because that was comfort zone. All right. Yes, please, Caleb.
We have
Danelle
comments?
has a couple of comments. Danelle,
Okay.
you're happier when you don't
Daniel,
care what people
rhymes
have to
with
say
flame.
about who you are.
Yes.
Right.
And normal is boring.
Boring. You're
Yes.
right. You're right.
Thank you, Dana.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, so there's that, you know, I'm glad that we all have hopefully, somebody needed to hear that, Chaveevah. Right, and so now we're gonna move right on to our Give It Air, which is really kind of political, I guess, pretty political.
Yeah.
And we usually don't get political. Now, y'all couldn't have come on here to run for your office, but now that you got them, we're willing to talk. So for you
Good.
viewers out there that think we're showing any kind of favoritism, we're not. If you want to come on after you in office, come on.
This is something that just sort of landed on our doorstep very recently.
Right.
And yeah, that's House Study Bill 218. It's a proposed legislation in Iowa that, quote, prohibits institutions of higher learning governed by the State Board of Regents from expending monies to fund diversity, equity, and inclusion offices or to hire individuals to serve as DEI officers, which will be effective immediately if it passes.
If it passes.
Yep. Basically, it's a call to get rid of multicultural offices on state university campuses here in Iowa.
Right, and the jobs that they
Yes.
encompass.
Yes.
So, ladies
Wow.
first. What are we going to do about it? And I think, Dan, do you have comments?
Just
right
one
quick?
comment. Wilkin Achillian, is that how you say that?
Okay.
Says, keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Okay, yeah, we don't want it to pass, so what are we going to do? Is there, are we able to lobby what? What's going on?
I know when it was proposed last session, and it was called curriculum and divisive concepts and all of those kinds of things that suggested that when you talk about race, when you talk about equity, that in some way or another you were dividing folks and is subjecting children to shame and acknowledging white privilege and all of those things. So I remember fighting really hard last time legislature was Congress, state Congress was in, and we had folks from both side of the aisle saying that we didn't have to worry about it. It wasn't, it wasn't going to do this. It wasn't going to amount to much. But I said if we allow it to pass, if we don't raise a ruckus now,
oh my goodness,
it's
honey.
going to come back, and here it is again.
And here it
Yeah,
is again.
here it is again.
And Florida, we already know what's going on in Florida.
Yes.
Let's hear your take.
Okay, first let me preface this by saying just because it's a bill does not mean it's going to become law.
Okay, that's
One of the
reassuring.
things that sitting down there listening to it, there are a lot of things going on that in my mind the government should not be doing or getting involved in. But this particular bill, let me preface this by, there was just a bill out as far as same-sex marriage and those things and how that was a bill and how the citizens, the people stood up and said no. And it just kind of went away. It was withdrawn.
Okay.
When you look at this particular bill, one of the things that I do is I pay attention to the lobbyists, the individuals who really are there having a say-so. And when you look at this bill and go to it, there is not a single lobbyist out there that is for it supporting it other than a couple of those extremist groups that are not even a part of this. They are out of state.
And yes, I think that the good outweigh the bad in the world, period. So I really can't imagine that this would be done.
But that's the other thing you have to understand is what I'm seeing down here now is they're not listening to the people a lot.
That's right.
When you look at the school voucher system,
Yes.
I'll talk about that just for a quick second here. That was a bill that, I had a senator come over and talk to me that was for it. And I voted against it. And the reason that I voted against it was not because I'm against the private schools, What I don't like about it is everything is geared towards the private schools, and the public schools are not being funded properly. If the public schools were being funded properly, I would not have any issue with it in any way, shape, or form. You know, your daughter has a private school. I don't have a problem with that. Where I have the problem is our government is not funding our public schools properly. So for me, that's the issue.
So
with
they're
two different things, you know.
apples, yeah.
Right, and like I say, for me, this particular bill, it has no place being even discussed. Because how many years has it been? 30 years or so to where.
Since we've been,
Yeah,
had those
exactly.
offices,
So for me, it's like the people have to be involved. The people have to.
and they will be.
Yeah, they
will
better be.
They better be. We will be, right?
They have to be, but
They have to be.
what troubles me is that the people were involved when it came to Roe versus Wade.
That's,
Yeah.
child, that's right.
And
So-
those that will be coming up also from a standpoint.
Yeah, and
of
so,
reproductive health.
and it was overturned, and I would have never thought that.
Never thought it
But
in
every,
my life.
there
So
is,
there's that.
I say that there is this psychological illness where individuals who are feeling something inside project their stuff onto others. And I think that the fear of discovery, fear of finding out what really happened is being projected onto the public. And so they're saying that what the public is trying to do is cause division by bringing up the truth.
So that's one saying that we've said on this show before. Imagine that your history is so bad that they want to ban it from being learned.
Yes.
How is that? It can't be. We
Yes.
just can't have that.
No.
So we have some questions about some other stuff too. And I
Okay,
know
yeah.
Caleb's going to be knocking on the say wrap it up door here. So Chaveevah, Pastor Belinda.
Yes, I'm saying we just had to wrap that up.
Oh,
We had
yeah.
to give it a little bit.
We had to get that air.
Yeah, right, right.
And we gotta also say that our Give It Air segment is brought to you by Grout Museum District, Chaveevah,
wonderful.
right?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, all right, for both of our guests, I have to say to you both,
Okay.
congratulations
Oh, yes.
on being elected.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yes. We're so proud and happy that you're there.
Okay, and Pastor Belinda, had you previously considered running for office before this opportunity presented itself?
I had not. Jerome, in fact, as we were sitting at a city council meeting, and I was feeling, it's like something's got to be done. And I remember he looked out at the audience and he said, well, my seat is becoming vacant. And someone, it felt like he was looking at me, right? Someone has to consider this seat. And I was thinking, ooh, okay. Well, does that mean? No,
Was that
it's
you?
not me.
You
It's not
talking to
me.
me?
And then it kept, I kept sensing it. And I just kind of secretly text the mayor and say, hey, I'm feeling compelled.
Okay.
I said,
Well,
I'm
good.
feeling pulled, and so.
Good for you.
Why did you feel it was important to you to step into that?
Because, for a number of reasons. Ward 4 is a hard one to, unfortunately, sell oftentimes to people.
Okay, and you knew that.
And I knew that. And I wanted to make Ward 4 heard and people to realize how great we are.
Okay. Yeah.
And how great we will be.
That's it too.
Yeah, and so, my son was joking, but he was saying to my little grandson, Ward 4 baby, Ward 4 baby, and I said, yeah, we're going to celebrate Ward 4. And we're going to begin to show the community that not only are we great in our diversity and the richness of our history and culture, but we also deserve the same equities.
That's right.
We deserve the same
Let's
amenities.
work on that infrastructure too.
That we have across the city.
Great. That's the north end. So
It's the north end.
Okay. Yes. Got some comments.
Yeah, Gwen Berry says, "Go, Pastor, go."
Yes. All right. We got us a little cheer out there. Way to go. Thank you so much, Gwen, for watching today. All right, and we have a couple questions for you too. I think we might have, depending on what Caleb lets us know, we might have enough time for a couple more for both of you. So I'm going to hit you up now. What motivated you to run as a state representative?
As a state representative, what motivated me to run was someone asked me to run.
Oh, okay.
Because realistically, I had been on the city council for 2 terms, and I had already told Mayor Hart that 2 terms was enough for me. That in my mind, 2 terms is enough for anyone.
Okay,
You know,
right. They should have term limits.
You know,
Is that what you're saying?
I'm happy to hear Reverend Creighton say that it's about equity, because I can remember sitting talking to consultants, and it was never equality, it was about equity. So making sure that the one side of Waterloo and the north end of Waterloo were both getting the same things. We all paid taxes, and to make sure that there was equity for everyone.
Yes.
One of the things that I want to say to you, Reverend Creighton, is one of my mentors, Willa Mae Wright, told me, keep in mind, it takes 4 votes to get anything accomplished.
Yes, yes.
You know, so that's one of the things that if you want to get something accomplished, make sure you have
Yeah.
the votes necessary to get it done.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
Yes, well, we're glad that you're in office. And was it easier or more difficult than you expected being there now?
it's difficult from a standpoint of sitting in the minority, you know, but that doesn't stop me from using this voice that the good Lord gave me to be able to put it on people's minds and hearts that there is another perspective out there. You know, it's just for me, I'm doing this because I'm supposed to be here, I guess is the best way to
You
put
feel
it.
that you were basically kind of called to
Yes,
duty. I
definitely.
think
right.
like you felt
Yes.
sitting in the city council meeting that you were being spoke
Well,
to.
yes.
And in your case, it could have been God and him.
Yes.
too. And
Well, the good
same
Lord
with
guides
you,
me in
and
every way, so.
That's right. The good Lord can speak to all of us. That's
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
In what ways, Jerome, do you feel like your office as a member of the city council and the work that you're doing right now, how similar are they?
They are similar from a standpoint of representing the people, because that's what I'm about, is representing the people. I'm sitting here right now because of my grandchildren and those things. You know, one of the things, there is a difference between the city council and where I'm sitting now, is by law, the city council, even though there's politics involved, is nonpartisan. But down here in Des Moines, pretty much everything is partisan. So it's
that's
just
a
a matter of
difference.
it is. It's one of those things where, you know, a lot of the things going on down in Des Moines, they're bipartisan. The majority of the things that we pass are unanimous. But then some of these other things, attacking the LGBTQ plus community,
Yes, yes.
the attacking minorities, all of these things, that's the way that I look at them. They are attacks. Because we have so many other things that we should be working on.
And
Mental
could,
health,
and could
health.
be. Oh,
Yes.
the important
All
things.
of the things,
Well,
so for me, it's a distraction
Yes.
that's
Yes.
happening here so that the other things can't be addressed. We've spent 8 weeks on these issues
right.
when we should have been spending 8 weeks on so many other important things.
And you know, the little young man, he was a boy at the time, and he said, "Can I live?" Just that's that song. You know what I'm talking about? That's what people just want to live. You know, leave people to We have one more question for you, Pastor. Talk about some things you want to address as Councilwoman.
Well, as Councilwoman, I want the north end and the streets to be comparable with all of the other streets in the city. And I know there's some other areas in the city where the streets are bad too. So we know those need to be taken care of too. I always talk about being able to tell the difference when you're driving on Broadway to Cedar Falls, the difference between the roads. They're one way on this end, and then as you get to Cedar Falls, they're different.
There you go.
I want to make their smooth transition. But there's a host of other things that I want to deal with as well.
I know.
Homes that are considered blighted and all of that. Oh,
that
my
was
goodness.
one of my things. I would love to see
Oh,
some
my
of those
goodness.
be either torn down or repurposed.
Yeah, landlords who aren't doing their part, that needs to be addressed. And our people want the pool back at Gates.
I bet they're wearing you out with that.
The people want the
honey,
pool
I
back
feel
at
bad about
You know,
that.
and I'm going to jump in on that one
Yeah, jump
because
in, because we got a few minutes.
when I first got involved, I was a liaison for the swimming pool group and those things. And ever since I started, that was an issue, was the pools, both of them were at the end of their life. When the consultants came in, I was there when the meetings went on. And one of the issues is the pool on this side of town, on the north end of town, was not being utilized. So I mean, as a kid, I went to that pool. I swam there and everything else. But the numbers showed, even when Burns was shut down, people were not utilizing the pool over here.
So that's the reason.
So that's one of the reasons, looking at the usage of it. And hence it was not equality, pools on both sides, it was equity. Make sure you spend the same money that you spend over here. And that was a plan that they came up with. And that plan, when you looked at it at face value, that was a good deal to have all of this different area for people to have different recreational things to do.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
that was the reasoning behind what we did.
And part of it was the people said if the pool had been in better shape, they would have been there instead of at the falls.
There you go.
So there,
you know, but like I say, the end result was the information that we received, and there were young men who came forward with what they felt it was needed. You know, there was that group put together and everything, and I realized not everyone was aware of it. So but
well, that's our alarm. I guess our time is up. No, actually, we probably need one of those. Don't tell Agnes that actually does work. We want to remind everybody who our sustaining collaborators are before we go, and then we got to sing our birthday songs. But you guys had some great conversation.
Absolutely. Really quickly, one more time, the Waterloo Center for the Arts.
Yes.
The Community Foundation of Northeast Iowa.
That's right.
Grout Museum District.
Yes.
Banneker Watches and Clocks. And who did I forget?
Waterloo Center for the Arts.
Waterloo Community Foundation,
Northeast.
Waterloo Center for the Arts.
Oh, y'all, we love you. Thank you very much. They know who they are, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I got one question. Do you ever talk to Roz Smith about the previous, your son?
Actually, no. You know, I've touched base with him, but from a standpoint of, I think he realizes and understands all of the things that have gone on.
He knows, watch out for this and watch out for that.
Yeah, no, it's just, for me, it's one of those things where I have no problem at all looking an individual in the eye, talking to them, letting them know.
I know you can talk. You done proved that already. So you made the alarm go off and everything. So we're going to sing our birthday people, everybody. We got the best birthday people, Chaveevah, every week.
The very best. Samaya Hart Beverly, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
DeQuavion Burke.
Yes, that's sweetie.
Shapoya Hickey.
My baby.
That's right, you know
my
her.
Hickey girl. Yeah.
Shelby Davis.
All right.
Tom Cooper II. And Sharita Monique Stokes, happy birthday.
Oh, Sharita, yes, such a sweet little, you know, it's funny seeing our babies, right? And they're just growing to be such beautiful people.
Yeah.
Glory Dickens, happy birthday,
Happy
girl.
birthday.
Matt Gilbert, Christopher Hack, Warren Wortham, Michael Harris, and Amber Joy Dagnillo. Both of my nieces today.
Okay.
And my brother.
So, yes, and Chaveevah.
That's right, Warren, yes.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So listen, you know, we know that you guys can sing really, really well. And I know you got that beautiful, I've heard you sing in church. She got a beautiful soprano kind of pretty voice. So we'll probably start off pitch, but you figure it out.
That's right, you get us
I'm
together.
sure you would agree.
I couldn't fit more perfectly
than to have a world party
on the day you came to be.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. All right. This is so funny because
Belinda's over here sounding real good.
You know what I liked about the whole thing is that everybody's over here all happy and Caleb's over there, happy birthday. His mask is going in and out and it's so funny. Thank you, Caleb, because I'm sure you added that perfect face to the whole situation. Right?
Right.
Okay, thank you to our beautiful guests today. Thank you again.
Thank you all so much for a very lively conversation.
Yes, and I'm glad you didn't get her going because she would talk about that bill that's getting ready to pass. And we're just going to not worry too much because the right people are going to get out and vote. And
That's
get down.
right, that's
Okay.
right.
All right, and as seasoned women, we've been around a little while and we learned a few things during our life. We want to pass it along.
Yes, indeed.
And I've learned that everyone's life is difficult, so let's show each other some kindness.
Yes, indeed.
But what have you learned, Chaveevah?
Hey, I have learned from the great Nelson Mandela that
Oh.
courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it.
Ooh, keep
Yes.
triumphing over all and everything, right? That is so great. All right, until next week, we want to remind our viewers to keep doing stuff that makes you awesome.
Like our wonderful guest that we had here today,
Yes.
because
It makes us all look good. See you next week.
That's right. Remember, if it's Friday,
It's
North
North
End
End
Update.
Update.